Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of the Bravo Squad. As you can see, we have a slightly larger cast of players today, and we're going to get into why that is the case gradually. But we're going to start with the warm-up question. This is only going to be for the Bravo Squad because I might have already asked this question to the main squad. And the Bravo Squad, if this sounds like a question I've already asked you, please let me know so I can ask you a different question. But I don't think I've asked you this question. The question I wanted to ask is, could you share for us one of your character's most vivid childhood memories? And we've seen some of them in the previous sessions. It doesn't have to be a sad one unless you really want to give another sad childhood memory. It can be a happy one, or it can just be a memory that helped define your personality when you grew older. Some sort of some sort of event from your childhood. I'm just curious what has happened to you guys, maybe in simpler times, and the Bravo Squad can also select an NPC for me to answer that question with.
Okay, so when Darren was a child, when he was about 8 or so, he went on a fishing trip with his father. They stayed in like a little log cabin, and they went out on a little boat in the lake. And that was like one of the last happy memories Darren has with his father. But so they were fishing, and well, obviously he caught a fish, but it was large enough that it actually pulled him into the water. Um, yeah, he wasn't a fan of swimming for a while after that, but he's gotten over it since.
So you had a good relationship with your father, would you say?
Uh, Thing is, Darren's father left when he was about 10. So up until that point, yeah, they had a good relationship. And after that, Darren kind of went off the rails, which is why obviously he has a bit of a criminal background
That
because
makes sense.
things gradually got worse. I don't think Tricey was as close with her dad, which is probably why it didn't affect them here as much. Yeah.
And did you ever reconnect with your father?
Nope.
Or did he just remain missing? MIA?
Remained missing. Yeah.
Okay. How did your mom take it?
Not especially well.
Did she ever remarry, or did she stay? Did she stay single the whole time?
I'm not actually sure about that one.
Okay.
But because she didn't take it well, Darren sort of blamed her to some extent, so they had a very bad relationship for quite a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know if she ever remarried. Maybe.
That's a good one, Darren. That explains a lot. That gives a lot of insight.
When Crystal was much younger, when her father was still at home and not on tour,
Mm-hmm.
um, let's say maybe around 9 years old,
Okay.
she's she goes to the zoo with her father,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a remote controlled like drone or plane that fell into the tiger's den
Oh,
for some
okay.
reason,
Ooh, okay.
and her father jumped in to try to retrieve the remote
Oh,
controlled
wow.
toy
Okay.
back. It's the kind of animal den where it's like a cylindrical
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
enclosure
And you're
where
watching it from
everyone,
above.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see it.
there's no cages, and for
So he
he
jumped in.
managed he managed to retrieve the toy before the tiger got to him. She was like, um, she could not believe that he would do something like that, and she was mad at him and kicked his shin when he returned back to the surface and says, "It was just a toy. Why you're mad?" And he just said, "Well, it's important to you, and you're important to me."
9-year-old Chen lecturing her dad. That and it
Yeah,
seems like there's an ongoing theme of large animals in people's childhood backgrounds so far. So
it's a theme,
it's a
tiger.
yes.
I bring it up a lot.
Aya's most vivid childhood memory is being at a shooting range with her brother. It was actually Tadashi that taught her to shoot a gun.
Oh.
And her proudest moment of her childhood is when she was 13 and she utterly kicked his ass in a shooting tournament by hitting the bullseye on every round.
Was Aya and Tadashi close before your parents passed away?
Yes.
You were close.
And that's why when he chose to stay with the Alliance, it felt like a very deep betrayal to her. Because he stayed with what she believed was the cause of their parents' death.
So that cut really deep for Aya specifically because they
that's
were
why
very close. Mm-hmm.
And that's why she has a hard time getting along with him now.
That gives a lot of insight too. Awesome. I'm loving these. Lun.
I think a memory that Lun remembers most, and it's why the little pendant around his neck is so important, and that's why he's trusted it to Aya, which is a big sign of trust, is when he was little, well, back as Luna, before he started disappointing his father and mother by not being a very good Quarian. His mother used to always sing him to sleep, the same lullaby, which has got the tune on the pendant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the last memory of his mother, but it's also like the soft song that he always remembers.
That's very sweet. NPC, what do you guys want me to talk about from their childhood?
Well, I have an answer, and if other people disagree, then that's fine. I'd like to hear about Otto, just because he must have a really unique childhood.
I was thinking about the same.
I'm torn between Otto, but I'm also torn between Red Tricey, because obviously Darren wasn't part of her life, and I want to see how that changed.
I'm saying Otto or Niha.
Oh, Niha would be interesting too.
Ooh,
The whole thing with her and Quinn's strange rivalry.
Oh, so. Yeah, yes, Niha.
Do it.
I vote Niha.
Niha? Is that 2 for Niha then? So growing up, I would say that Quinn and Niha had always had a bit of a rivalry with each other as well. Both, of course, are very smart. Niha prides herself now as being, a bit of a stealth specialist, and Quinn does too. And so they're unlike Aya and Tadashi. I don't think that their childhood. I don't think they were particularly close. Because they were always bickering each other, and they were always trying to one up each other all the time. And I think that when they were kids, like before they started meddling with stealth, hide and seek, surprise, surprise, is probably their favorite game that they would play. And so I think that there was a time when I feel like Quinn ended up hiding somewhere, and he ended up getting trapped. I feel like he ended up hiding into like maybe some sort of a trunk or something that locked itself when he shut the door, and he couldn't get out. And so it was one of those things where, stubborn as Quinn is, he was trying to decide if it was worth, embarrassing himself by, making a lot of noise and panicking and trying to get somebody's attention to let him free, or if it was best for him to just swallow his pride and suffocate to death. And for him, that was actually a hard choice, a tough choice for him. Anyway, eventually, Niha told the parents that she couldn't find him, and everybody was looking around the house trying to find where this missing child is, and fortunately they were able to discover him inside the locked box. And he got scolded because he didn't seem to, I think he was still deciding whether or not to accept to embarrass himself or just stay silent. And he got yelled at because it was stupid of him to not do anything to try to make people find him when he's in a dangerous situation like that. And so I think that with Niha, she knew from the beginning how the logic in Quinn is a little odd, and she knew that he was going to be a very stubborn character from the get-go, I guess. So that's my story. So in the last episode, you guys were leaving. I don't think you have decided yet where you were going to go from the Orange Galaxy. So if you would like to roleplay that, I think one of the last things that happened is that several of the worshippers of Andraste were kissing Aya's boots, and Darren had just given Brother Genitivi a copy of Float and Flotilla, the copy of Float and Flotilla book. So...
Let us not forget that Aya had given another, a female novice, a copy of, well, I forgot what's it called, Vania, yes.
I see Matt shaking his head as if the main squad were not just as bad. I see him. Mr. Please, can we bring Plim home with us? Lycanthropes in space.
Still should have done that. Still totally should have done that.
Hey, you forget the other thing that I brought home with us.
Oh yeah. I think I would be like, okay, shush, out with you people, and then close the entrance now that they have delivered all their food supplies,
Yes,
gold and incense and everything.
Yes, Otto is putting all the fruit baskets into the kitchen. We'll say Tricey is helping.
And then I would probably go over to Darren and say, she's not here.
No.
Now what? Do you want to keep looking, or?
Well, of course I want to keep looking, but where is the question? I mean,
we could always have Morden do another scan, because clearly he found her here, but she's not here anymore.
Didn't the little guy Cog say something? He was with somebody? She was with somebody?
Yeah, something about that some other aliens had been here and taken her with them. So she might be back in a universe that is not populated by underdeveloped medieval people.
What other aliens? Tricey asks as she's helping Otto.
Apparently, someone other than us from our reality had been here. Like not necessarily like specific color galaxy, just our time continuity.
So you're saying that we're not the only ones that ended up here?
He mentioned your boyfriend.
Anar was here?
Yeah.
Sounds like it. He had my sister, not you, the other one.
Well,
be careful, she might steal him away from you.
I'd like to see her try, she says.
I smell a cat fight.
Ooh.
Please don't fight my sister, it'll just be too confusing.
We'll end up having one of those awesome situations where it's like they'll be fighting, and then one Tricey will be say, Darren, you're on my side, right? And then the other Tricey will be like, no, Darren, you're on my side, right? But I'm your sister. No, I'm your sister.
You've been reading way too much TV tropes.
Nah.
Tricey turns to you. Your Tricey, is she currently seeing anyone?
No, but...
We need to find Anar now, she says desperately.
I do remember her saying that Sync was pretty hot.
Yeah, I don't think Anar's her type, to be honest.
No, she's not. I don't think she's into that whole tentacle thing. That's just you. That's very weird.
I don't know, she says. Anar's pretty charming.
Well, Chris seems to think a lot of him, so
yeah,
that might mean something.
Or maybe it's just because maybe Hanar excludes some sort of like mind drug that take control over us.
Is there any way for us to, I don't know, call them, contact them? Maybe we can meet up.
we were discussing just now to try and get Morden to scan for the other Tricey's location again. See if we might be able to find her.
Well, maybe they're gonna go where we found you, and maybe, well, maybe they'll go where we found Tricey.
Back
If
to
not-
Blue?
If they realize that this Tricey's missing, maybe they're looking for her.
Maybe they were in the same boat as us, except they scanned orange.
Thoughtfully, that does make sense if we were to go back to Blue.
Yeah. I would like to have Morden do a scan before we go, just to make sure.
I mean, you're the captain. I'm just putting forward my 2 cents.
Well, that's... I'm putting out feelers to see what you think.
Yeah. Well, we might as well go somewhere now, since I imagine it'll be more difficult to find people from here. Like, he could barely find here in the first place.
True.
I know nothing about science, so don't really take what I say into account. But
No. We can always ask him.
Yeah.
So I think you might be right that he'd prefer to do the scan from our reality.
Well, not ours. You mean
Yeah.
a different one.
The reality that is not medieval strange people with magic and giant flaming spiders.
that's a bit though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think I handled it.
Well,
quite
I can ask
well.
Morden. I've got a favor to ask him anyway.
Then, Lun, your mission is to go ask Morden.
Sure, I need to see
Captain
if there's any
Douglas.
way of making this big chunky thing smaller.
I also think it might be a good idea to do some scans on that thing because its weird red glowing thing gets me out.
Why do you think I kept it?
To creep Aya out.
Well, because you're...
Literally, he's gonna just point it down and be like, bingo, and then head out to go speak to Morden.
Lun, you're gonna find Morden in his lab. It looks like he spent a lot of time cleaning up because of, the crash before.
Oh yeah, I've still got half a face of duct tape.
Space tape, yes. So, anyway, he looks up when you enter the room and he asks, well, did you find her?
No, but apparently some other dimension hopping friends of ours have got her.
You mean Alpha?
No, the other ones that Rain were on about.
The other ones. Are you talking about those people that you were in the games with?
Well, we didn't face them, but still, they're the ones who are cleaning up Alpha's mess,
Ah.
according to Rain.
So hopefully that means that she's safe for now.
Yeah. The question now is, well, there's technically 2 questions. I want to know if you can do another scan for Tricey, but would you prefer to do it here or do it in another universe?
Honestly, it would be a lot more accurate and faster if we were to jump to one of our other galaxies first and then run the scan.
That's what we were thinking. Second one is there any way you can shrink this down into like tiny itty bitty pendant size?
He takes a look at the object. He pulls out, I guess, some spectacles, and he puts them on his face, and he looks at the object. What sort of substance is this? I don't recall ever running into this type of compound before.
I know, it was a weird thing that we found in what they called the deep roads. I thought it looked cool, and it freaks Aya out, so I thought I'd keep it. Souvenir.
Do you let him take it? Does he reaches for it to take a look at it? Do you let him take it?
Luke's kind of gonna hesitate for a moment, but then let him have a look.
Roll a willpower.
Oh, yay.
The precious.
I was waiting for this to be like, yeah, you're gonna start going evil now.
One does not simply use biotics to rule the world.
I'm picturing Lun going like Dark Phoenix.
Oh no, we've already
Dark
agreed.
side is
We've already agreed. New Sith Lord.
the dark side is a pathway to many abilities.
And just so we know, Crystal is
It's
in her room sleeping. So this whole
Okay.
time she wasn't in the room, so that's why she's not talking.
It's knowledge, right? Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
so,
Are
yes.
we accidentally going to leave Chen behind because she was in the church?
8.
No, in
I
her
rolled an
quarters on
8.
the ship.
Okay, that's not terrible. So, Lun, you start to hand Morden the I guess idol, and you're hesitating a little bit, but you eventually let him have it.
Oh, I'm getting it back, so that's why I let him have it, because I know I'm getting
Yes.
it back.
Yes. He looks at it again and he says, "Huh. If you want me to try to shrink it down, I'm going to need to study the compound for a little bit. See if there's a way for me to minimize."
I guess so. It just means it's easier to carry around than put it in one of my satchel pockets. I'll come check on you later.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, we'll do the jump. Any preferable universe? I think we were thinking blue.
Blue.
Because
Very
that's
well.
where we picked up the other Tricey from, so I guess we thought maybe we'll meet them there.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Oh,
then.
by the way, Lun, how are you feeling with the he taps his head.
Oh my god, I can't see out half my face. Tricey's lovely, but she needs to learn how to duct tape better.
I was referring more internally, not externally.
Oh,
He says, pointing at his head.
fine. Yeah, I'm doing fine.
No more bizarre biotic spells. No more.
I seem to have control of it now. See,
Glad to hear.
all I needed was a few days.
I'm sure that you are assimilating to it just fine. It just takes some getting used to.
Right, I will let Iron know to do the jump to blue.
If you have need of any painkillers, just let me know.
Oh, will do.
Doesn't get to read Morden's mind at all.
I'm sorry?
Lun couldn't pick up any thought from Morden at all.
Was Lun trying to?
Not really.
Okay, then no.
That I didn't see much reason to.
Because before we were asked to give the information willingly.
That's because Lun didn't have control over it.
Okay.
Lun's gradually getting control of her. It's starting to stabilize.
So $10 says now that after he has been studying the thing for a while, he'll be all Gollum about it. Because he's been in so close proximity to it.
Morden better give me back my idol. Anyway, I'm coming. Lun's heading back to tell Aya and I guess Darren and Dane to do the jump to blue.
Okay.
Dane, Cortez.
Cortez.
I was just like, wait, what?
Okay.
I wouldn't have brought Dane on board.
Surprise!
No.
He's been there the entire time.
Are we going to start some action
Does
sequence right
anyone
away?
have some final things they need to give to all the underdeveloped humans of?
I think you've given enough. So I'm gonna cut that right there. I think you've done enough. Let the Alpha Squad have stuff to mess up with. Okay. All right.
Guns and like blueprints for a spaceship, nothing major.
Cortez will give a final check to make sure that everything on the Normandy is good to go, and you guys will make the jump. Now, the jump from orange all the way to blue again is going to be very rough as well. But, thanks to Cogs, the trip manages to... you manage to go through the trip without crashing into anything. Cogs did something to let the maneuver, I guess, smooth out a little bit. And you guys will eventually make it to blue. And as soon as you guys end up in blue, I would say about 5 minutes later on Angaina, Cortez will be on the comms and say, "Captain, I've got something I want you to hear."
Right, I'll come right up.
You come up to the cockpit, and Cortez will say, "Seems we've got a signal. Not sure if this is addressed to you, but He pushes a button onto the console, and you hear a... Is this thing on? Oh, okay. Hi, this is Chris. If any of our friends of Anar are there, whether it's our friends, or Lun's friends, or Rain's friends, or Anar's friends, we kind of could use somebody to pick us up. Isn't that right, Anar? And Anar, do you say anything at this point when Chris is making this recording?
You hear a crash. Damn it, Chris! I was in the middle of making a pizza. Now everything's all over the floor.
So yeah, we're down on Angaina on these coordinates. It's really creepy down here. So it would be really cool if anybody could come find us. We have pizza.
No, we don't, thanks to you.
Never mind. We don't have pizza. Please bring pizza. Okay, bye. And he hangs up. The signal just keeps repeating in a loop after that.
I heard it the first time, Cortez. You can turn it off now.
He turns it off.
What
do you think?
Well, I think Lun might be a little salty if we don't go pick him up, because apparently Lun took quite a liking to Chris. But
how fast do you think Otto can make a pizza?
Otto calls over the comm. How fast can you make a pizza? Or maybe like 3, 4?
He says inquisitively, "What toppings?"
Let's see. I would like some kebab, some.
Cortez is...
as long as you don't put anchovies on. If I find anchovies on my pizza, I will toss you out the airlock.
Cortez is like shaking his head. I was just joking, Captain. I didn't think you were actually going to order a pizza from him.
But pizza? You don't say no to pizza. Okay, take us to Angana and then we'll take these.
Otto, Cortez says, make mine sausage and pineapple, please.
Pineapple on your pizza? Really?
What? What's wrong with sausage and pineapple? Otto reports back, I don't have any pineapple, but some of this fruit from Thedas might actually work very well. I don't know if I trust the food here.
Tested if any of that stuff is poisonous yet, Otto?
Otto says, I did. Do not worry, everything seems to be in order.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't touch the big red thing. Its spiciness might end up killing some of you.
Put it on Darren's.
Put it on Darren's?
Just a tiny bit, and then we'll have Shen do a checkup on him once he goes all ballistic.
Really? At this, Cortez will say, really, Captain? Really?
Out of curiosity, can't Darren hear all of this?
Are you in the kitchen?
Well, no, but we have our communication devices, which presumably is...
No, but I pinged Otto.
He pinged Otto in the kitchen. He's so...
Okay.
I mean, if you want to be within earshot of the kitchen, that's fine.
I know, I was just curious if I was hearing this or not.
Okay. Yeah, so Cortez said, really, Captain? Really?
Come on, we've been too bleak lately. We need some things to go on, and I'm sure that in post Darren will appreciate the practicality of the joke.
Otto says, I am just following orders.
Just make it so that he doesn't die, then it'll be fine.
That would be preferable.
Indeed.
Beep. You guys make your way down to the coordinates, and there is pizza being served for lunch. Darren, if you're going to have lunch, he is going to put a slice in front of you.
Thanks, Ollie.
Are you going to... Okay, so you take a bite. Roll a stamina check, I think, would be the proper roll for this. I'm assuming I is going to be in the room when this is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
28.
28.
roll.
Okay. Well, first of all, you don't die on the spot. That's good. The pizza tastes, pizza tastes pretty good, except all of a sudden it just hits you like a brick wall. Like the spice. I don't know if you've had ghost peppers before, but
No.
it's excruciatingly painful. Like you just like there are hard, like red hot coals, like cascading down your throat. It's
Okay.
extremely painful. Tears
Aya
are coming down.
Aya will put a glass of milk in front of him, just not saying anything, just smiling.
Could I roll to try and keep a straight face?
With a 28, no, with a 28, you can suffer through it. You're fine, but it's really
Okay.
hard. You're fine. You can drink the milk and it'll be better. But yeah, you're not like running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You're taking it like a man.
Yeah, seeing Aya's response, he's going to take another bite, and he'll hate himself for it.
If you're gonna take another bite, you're gonna have to make another roll. While this is happening, Niha is across from you, and she sees Aya put down the glass of milk, and she turns to you and says, "Aya, again with the spicy."
38 this time.
38. Okay, so you're still good.
But
She shakes her head.
just be glad I didn't do it to you this time.
She says, "If you did it to me this time, you would find yourself in a much earlier grave."
Oh, come on. I know you love me. You wouldn't do that.
Not when you expect it. Does anyone else react to this prank spectacle?
Lun's just shaking his head.
Chen is just out cold, no reaction, keeps eating her pizza.
I am giving you a renegade
there.
point for that.
It's not there.
That definitely deserves a renegade point. And Darren, I'm gonna give you a renegade or paragon point just because you rolled ridiculously well to resist the excruciatingly hot red pepper.
I knew, I had a feeling that you enjoy spicy food,
Yeah, this is
After
really
being
good.
living
Well,
with you for so long,
Yeah.
I thought I'd do you a favor and put something on it you'd like.
Apologetically, Mr. Darren, I was just following orders.
It's cool, Otto. It's really good. You should try some Aya.
It's
you'd like it.
actually not cool. It's quite hot. Ha 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 ha. Embarrassingly, ignore me. And he turns around and leaves.
It's fine, Otto.
Everybody else's pizza.
I will give Darren some of hers just to make sure that he doesn't starve.
Anar, what do you and Chris do to pass the time? Are you guys playing Galaxy of
signed-
Fantasy right now?
No, I gave my stuff to Talia, remember?
That's right. Okay.
No, Anar's had a lot on his mind lately, so he's actually been keeping to himself while running some things. It's very out of character for him, but he requested Chris to focus on improving the mech because
Oh,
it's
yes.
last sessions. And as for Cyrus, he would probably have him on comps just to make sure that we didn't miss anything. I'd probably be in a chair just thinking. I've had a lot to think about lately.
Anar, you and Chris hear the sound of a ship coming towards your direction. And Chris looks up and says, "Anar, is that the Normandy I see?"
Just be sure. Cyrus, check that thing out.
Cyrus takes his visor and he runs a scan. That definitely is the Normandy. Chris, I'm wondering if these are the friends that your signal actually is trying to contact.
Man, I hope so. I've been sick of sitting around here doing nothing with my tentacles up my ass.
You guys will make your landing several 30 feet or so, 30 yards or so from their camp, and Tricey is very eager to get off the ship as soon as you
Oh.
land.
Lynn's gonna suggest that Tricey puts a bow in her hair.
We
bow in her
probably
hair?
hail the ship just to make sure it's friendly. You know, if that helps.
I'm sure you will. Yeah. Chris, I think, is too busy
I wouldn't let
fanboy-gasming
Chris
over
do it
the.
after that mess up he did on the comm.
No.
No, I love the guy, but seriously, that wouldn't help me get us off this rock.
Okay, so when you're hailing, I will answer. I will answer like, did someone order some pizza?
I'm guessing it's me on the other side. Oh,
Yes.
ha ha ha! I told him to change that.
But pizza.
Anyways, who are you?
Well, we're Chris's friends. Yeah.
I know that voice. I was the group who rescued me from the facility.
Hi,
Captain
Chris.
Rowlett. Oh yes, yes. You have Darren with you, don't you?
Yeah, do you want to speak to him? Darren! There's someone, excuse me, who are you again? Are you an
My name
R?
is Anar. Pleasure to meet you.
Darren! Anar the Hanar wants to talk to you.
I get sick of being referred to by my race. Nothing.
Come on, it's a pun. You can't just not get that rhyme. It flows right through you. Just can't say.
So you wanted to talk to me?
Oh yeah, that's you. I've seen your picture before. Your sister told me all about you guys. I figured you wanted to know she was safe.
That's really good to hear, actually.
Yeah, we
Like,
got a lot to talk about. Please tell me you're getting us off this rock, because I can't stand being here anymore.
suppose you can do that.
Oh, thank you. All right. Chris, Cyrus, pack up. We're heading out of here.
Oh boy, pizza! Chris is backing up.
So I'm
No,
gonna.
you do not have to actually bring a pizza.
So Crystal is back, awakened from like a long nap that ended with in the previous session. So she's back to her normal self. She did a scan of her overall health and see what happened, and she found like tiny traces of alcohol. So she's trying to figure out what that was about.
Mm-hmm.
And she noticed that she's wearing Darren's jacket, and she noticed the things on her desk that are been shuffled around, and someone has been looking through her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she's in a much better mood for some reason. Maybe because of the nap really helped, because she's been pushed to her limits in the past few days, fighting with her teammates, and just not getting her way. And now she's back to being relatively more cheerful, and she went to find either Darren or Tricey so that she can return the jacket. Would Darren want to be there with Tricey, or just her by herself?
I'll be with Tricey, sure.
We'll let Darren be there. That's fine.
So she enters the room and says, with her jacket off and wearing her usual jumpsuit, the mechanic suit. Said, I'm sorry, Darren, but I think this is yours.
Yeah, it's cool. You wanted to borrow it when you were being, well, different, I guess. You're back to normal. I'll take it.
I'm having trouble remembering what exactly happened, but I haven't slept this well for so long. It must be the exhaustion, but...
Well, we didn't have the best landing. That probably didn't help things. Don't worry about it.
Maybe, but I wanted to do this as soon as possible because we lost our Tricey before I had a chance. May I see your Omni tool, Tricey?
I don't think this Tricey has one. I don't think she
Then
that was the
then
reason
she,
why she couldn't help Lun, because she admitted she doesn't own an Omni tool.
then she removes her Omni tool and gives it to Tricey. Here, there's a
Oh,
program on here that helps you scan for brainwaves, and you can send a preset voltage and duration to make that your target be unable to move for maybe several seconds. This way,
th-
if you are ever getting into another situation like you were in from your world, you will be able to help yourself.
Trissy says, "Thank you, Dr. Chen." She starts to blush a little bit and says, "I kind of embarrassed because honestly, I'm not a very techie kind of person. Uh, they always kind of overwhelmed me. Maybe you could teach me?"
Yes, let me show you. And she explains the like
The basics of how to use an
yeah,
Omni tool.
brainwave
She's
oscillation.
yeah, like for this Trissy, the other Trissy can use an Omni tool just fine. This Trissy, it's not her forte, so you can go ahead and teach her how to use it, which is probably a good thing for her to learn anyway. Um, and at the end of it, actually, why don't you roll uh, a communication, whatever, if you have any skills that has anything to do with teaching.
26.
When you finish, Trissy says, "Dr. Chen, you're a very good teacher. Most people, they get very impatient because I tend to get very flustered when they explain techie stuff with me, but you're really good at teaching people. Have you ever considered maybe doing that for a living at some point?"
Perhaps, but I would rather go explore.
She nods. "Thank you."
Yeah,
And she puts the Omni tool on.
thanks for doing this, Doc. It does mean a lot. It's good to know you care.
It's the least I can do. I could
Trissy
not
will
see.
smile and she will go up to you and she will give you a hug. How does Crystal react to the hug?
Awkward. She will probably return the hug after a few seconds of pause.
Darren joins in.
Oh.
Good hug. And
She pulls back a little
suddenly,
bit. Go ahead.
is she going to say something?
She was, but if you want to say something first, you can. I was gonna say she pulls back, and I think she noticed that you were a little uncomfortable with the hug, and she says, "Sorry, I'm a big hugging kind of person. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I know we don't know each other for that long, but well,
Yeah, but
Darren is my brother. Well,
Sort of.
he is my brother, and you're clearly a very good friend, so."
you two are like my sister and my brother.
Oh. She smiles. "We're in this together, right?"
Like one big messed up family.
Can I tell you something?
"Sure." She says, "I like to think of myself as a very good listener." That might give a flashback to a previous, very similar conversation you had with the other Trissy, by the
Yeah.
way.
What? I'm reminded of how I used to play cops and robber with my father when I was much younger.
"Who was the cop and who was the robber?" Trissy asks with a grin.
Well, the theme was the First Contact War, and I played the human defenders, and he would play the Turian. invaders. He always had that paint on his face, and he would try to tickle me, and I said that's cheating. But he told me about the war, and he said the only reason General Williams had to surrender was because he was protecting humanity. It was because of humanity that he surrendered, not because he betrayed humanity. And that's how I came to see him as a defender of the human race for everyone from my home planet. Even when he later changed his mind about the Turian's relation with the human race, he tells me that even they deserve to be happy. Every race deserves the chance to reach for the stars. He was my hero.
You know, it sounds a lot deeper when you played it.
Then he betrayed everything that humanity stood for. The last time he left was many years ago, when I was still just a child. The next time I saw him was on the news. He has become a member of Cerberus. I can't forgive him. Deep down, Crystal wants to forgive him so bad, but the words that comes out of her mouth is just, he needs to be punished. And no sentence is strong enough.
Tricey covers her mouth and she starts tearing up. Then she reaches out her hand and she places it on your shoulder. Crystal, I know how you feel, she says. Someone very close to me. It was rumored that he also was had joined Cerberus as well. I didn't want to believe them. I don't think I ever saw proof, mostly because I didn't want to find proof because I was afraid of what I would see. She looks towards Darren. It was you, Darren.
Yeah, I heard.
And it's tough because I've spoken to him a few times here and there and never once brought it up, never once confronted him about it because I just didn't want to know. I just, wanted things to stay me and him, just little kids. His brother and sister, like nothing's ever happened, nothing's changed. And I feel like I did the same thing with someone I care deeply about with now. Anar, my boyfriend, came to me with some very... He came up with some very overwhelming things, and I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to hear him. And I regret that to this very day because I felt like I lost him. And it was all my fault because I just didn't want to face things that I didn't want to deal with because it was either too confusing or too uncomfortable, or I was too afraid of the truth. She pulls out a box. It's the box that Anar had given to her before he left her. And she basically says, I just hope I'll have a chance to say I'm sorry, you know? She wipes. Sorry, this isn't about me. This is about...
Sorry.
But this isn't about me. This is about you, Crystal. I'm just telling you that I know how you feel about being betrayed, and I feel like you're, even though we're in similar situations, I feel like you're still the stronger woman of the two of us, if that helps you.
Don't say that. It took me this long to even talk about it with anyone.
And that was an incredibly brave thing to do. Like, it's easier to pretend it didn't happen. It's what I'd have done. I know you're angry with your father, and that's like a natural thing to do, but you just stay angry, it'll eat away at you. Try not to remember the man who you feel betrayed you. Try and remember the man he was before, because that's the man who was your father, not the one who ran away and joined Cerberus.
Perhaps. If you'll excuse me. And then she leaves.
Tricey turns to you, Darren. She's still... Tears are still coming down her eyes, and she says, I've missed you. And I just wish I could talk to you. Well, I mean, not you, the other you. I wish I could just talk to you, but it's really hard, you know?
Yeah, I know. All too well.
Is it wrong for me to wish that you were him? Is that wrong?
That is far too deep of a question for me, and you probably know that. All I can say is try talking to him. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Like you said, I don't want to remember him like this. I want to remember him like he was my hero, like he was before.
Well, I am who I am because of you. Well, not you, because of my vision of you. Like, if it wasn't for Hero, like, I wouldn't be who I am now. I might not even be alive right now.
Do you think he feels the same way?
I don't know. I'm not really qualified to judge. I wouldn't have joined Cerberus, I don't think, but maybe he thought he was doing the right thing. Talk to him, see what happens. You don't really have anything to lose by doing so. Because, you know, I guess you have me.
As soon as you say that, she goes over to you and she wraps her arms around you, tears still streaming down her face, as she gives you a big hug.
And yeah, he'll hug you back.
Crystal would walk, like,
To Lun or
somehow
Aya?
run into Lun. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
run
yeah.
into Lun and
Go ahead.
sees the space tape on Lun's mask. Okay, first, I need the permission from Nell. Can I have like a detail saying long time ago when the Bravo squad left on their mission that Voto talked to Crystal to look after Lun? Is that okay?
I mean, you can
yeah.
ask Hark. Hark's technically
Yes.
DM.
Yes,
she is
definitely
your-
okay.
But she is your NPC.
Yeah, but Hark's control of her.
Okay.
Yes, that's absolutely perfectly fine. Yes.
And that's the thought, the memory that pops into her head, that Voto asked Crystal to look after Lun.
Are you sure
So-
Crystal Chen is not half Drell? You've got a lot of memories popping into your head. I'm just thinking, are you part Drell? That would be really interesting if you have some
No.
Drell blood somewhere in your bloodline. But anyway, go ahead.
It's very, very
I know.
categorized. Yeah.
Yes, I know. Go ahead. I'm just teasing. Go ahead.
And she hurries up to Lun and say, "What happened to your mask?"
We crashed. It broke, and Tricey, help fix it with duct tape.
Space tape.
Space tape. It's the same thing. One's just got glitter on it.
Well, let me fix it proper.
Well, I probably should just buy a brand new one when we can get to like the Citadel, I guess. Probably much
I'm
easier.
an expert at this. Let me do it.
It's pretty broken, Chen. I think it's probably just easier just to buy a brand new one.
We have plenty of parts in the ship. On the ship, that mech that you crushed, we can take parts from it.
It's fine. Don't worry. I'll just buy a brand new one. I was just gonna go speak to Morden.
Then she just tag along and maybe just trying to figure out a way to fix it along the way. She's going to follow you around, trying to, yeah, just wait until you are done with stuff to just fiddle with your armor.
You guys enter Morden's lab. Right now, he is currently studying the red idol thing with some sort of a scanner.
Yeah, Linda's just pop down and go, so how's it going with my souvenir?
Morden says, the chemical makeup of this idol it's unlike any thing I've ever seen before. Its elemental structure, completely different from any other that I've been able to find in the entire galaxy. Atoms, molecules, they shouldn't combine in this way. It's like the laws of physics on that planet are completely different from ours.
All I want to know is if you're able to make it into like tiny little size so I can carry it around.
I can compress it down. Still, I wish I could study this more. And he starts trailing off a little bit when he says that.
Well, I would like my souvenir back.
Crystal,
are you sure? He says, think of the things that we could learn from this if we study it more carefully, more thoroughly.
Mm-mm.
What is it that you're looking at?